Okay, whatever.
What
If that
camp you
makes
a
you feel
part
better.
of?
The Israel of God.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Y'all don't believe
Okay,
in
did
one
I
premise
hear that
either.
correctly? You trying to say Edomites?
So I do got a question, right? When the strangers came out of Egypt with Moses, right? And then the instructions, and clearly when they came out of there, the instructions for the Passover, what did they say that the stranger had to do?
Let's get into it.
12 and
Exodus
43.
12 and 3. I'm waiting for everybody to get there. I'm already here.
Read that, Tashawn.
Exodus chapter 12 and verse 43. And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof.
Right. So who's that referring to?
Anyone other than Israel?
Okay. Okay. No stranger shall eat thereof. Okay. Next verse.
But every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof.
All right. So what's that mean?
Right. So absolutely. So it's saying exactly what it said. If they do become part of your fold and become circumcised, now they can eat.
Give me Exodus chapter 21 and verse 2.
Are we not going to continue on?
Yeah.
We continue
Okay.
on, but you gotta understand we have laws. We have specific laws that are dealing with servants.
Okay.
Right. So you think that this servant is talking about non-Israelites. So let's read
No,
that.
no, no. Like, so if we keep reading, it continues to talk about the stranger.
I know, but we're showing what this verse means. So the first one is saying if you're not Israel, you can't eat it.
Right.
The next one says, but every man's servant that is bought for money, you got to make sure that he's circumcised, then he can eat. So for
Well, the
clarity,
servant. Hold on, hold on,
hold
hold
on,
on,
hold
hold
on,
on.
hold on, brother.
I know
Hold
what you
on.
about to say. I already know what you about to get because you're saying that this servant can also be Israel, correct?
What do you,
Not also.
let's read the verse. Let's read it.
Okay.
Stop! Don't stop us. Let us read it. We're listening to you. Go ahead,
Exodus
Hassan.
Exodus chapter 21 and verse 2. If thou buy an Hebrew servant, 6 years shall he serve, and in the seventh he shall go out free for nothing.
So one Israelite can buy another Israelite as a servant for six
And that's
years.
exactly why. I knew we was getting that, brother. That's why I
Okay,
say it's
now,
Israel.
all right, now give me Exodus chapter 20 and verse 10.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20. I'm gonna start at well, yeah. I'm just
Yeah,
Let's
just
begin.
10. We just need 10.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor
Manservant,
thy maidservant,
maidservant.
nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Now that stranger that is within thy gates, what is he?
I would say the stranger, like in this context, would be a Gentile or non-Israel.
Right, right. So there can be some confusion, but he's telling you, a non-Israelite. Let's go back to Exodus
Hmm.
12. A non-Israelite cannot eat of it.
No,
Period.
no, no,
You
no,
already
no.
admitted that in the verse he about to read again.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
I don't think so, brother.
read that first
I
verse
think
in
if we
Exodus
stick
12.
if Exodus 12 and if we keep reading, I think it say something different, brother.
No, you already said what it was, bro. In verse what was that?
No, you said servant.
I'm talking
So you
about
have the
verse
servants.
43. We already asked you what this verse mean in verse 43. Read that again.
No, yeah, I know. And then you went to verse 44 and talked about the servant.
But
That's
read
different.
verse 43 again.
And the
Okay, it says
Lord and the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, This is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof.
Now, what's that talking about, Truth?
So yeah, it's trying to set it's just trying to set it up right. It like yeah, if you just start reading right here, it clearly can it can be understood as the Gentile can't is not supposed to eat with the Passover. I
We're
can
not
clearly
gonna
see
stop
that.
there though. We're not gonna stop there though.
Okay then. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
what
well,
If
I'm
this
we're
is
not
saying,
gonna
gonna
back
stop
it up.
there,
It's gonna prove
if we're
our
not
point
gonna
even
stop,
better.
yeah, but I'm
I
just
don't think
making a
so
point.
though.
I'm just
I don't
making a
think so.
point, though, Truth, that the brother already asked you what this meant, and you said that this meant that a real heathen, cannot eat or partake in the Passover. Now that we're starting to continue to read, you switching your answer and going, "Oh, that's just
No,
the
no, no, no,
beginning of
no, no.
this."
And forgive me if you guys if I'm coming off as confusing because
So, who is
from
that
what
stranger in
I'm
verse 4? Let's just clear it up. Who is that stranger in 43?
that's what I'm saying. That stranger is a non-Israelite.
That's what you said the first time.
Yes, that's what I said. But then you guys went and then you jumped to verse 44 and start talking about a servant.
Go ahead, Jake.
We
Go ahead.
didn't, brother. We
That's
didn't.
different.
Hold on, Truth. We did not jump. It's literally the next verse. Then we went to a
Okay,
precept. We
okay.
went to a precept in the law to show what it means. So you have the non-Israelite cannot eat of it. Then you have the stranger, because this is dealing with, because you're supposed to eat the Passover in your house.
And real quick, Jake, I got a precept for this verse too. Because right here, when they say, "But every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof." Let's go to Jeremiah 34. Because he already showed you a scripture showing that this manservant right
Yeah,
here is still an
hey,
Israelite.
but host, I came up here because I would love to expound on the scripture, but
But
I think that
we're gonna let you go.
okay.
But what we're doing is we're giving the breakdown because you're gonna say that these are the heathen and you ain't gonna provide no scripture. We're showing all the precepts that talk about this manservant. Jeremiah 34:9. Bring it out.
You see what you did right. Hold on, look. You see what you did right there again. You went back to the servant.
Brother, just read the scripture.
Because he's
Jeremiah
making
34.
his point. He's making his point. So we read it in Exodus 12, and then we went to Exodus 20 to show 20 and 21 to show you that the Israelite
Yeah,
can be
but
your servant too.
Hey,
yeah,
truth. We're trying to show
and that's
you.
what I'm not trying. Hey, hold on. I'm not disagreeing with that. It's just what I'm saying is that there's a difference between the stranger and there's a difference between the servant. We just clearly proved. Y'all just clearly took me to the scripture, which I knew the servant could also be Israel.
Mm-hmm. And the
So that's all I'm trying to say.
strangers can also be Israel. But go ahead, read that.
Well,
Read
yes,
that poem.
yeah. But
Read verse 9.
in Exodus 12, the stranger is not Israel.
We reading it.
We know
Jeremiah
We'll see.
34
Okay,
9.
okay.
We'll
If we
see.
reading
We'll
then why
see.
we going to a different script?
Read. Go ahead and read that, brother.
He's
Go ahead.
reiterating his point
All
about
right, okay. Hold
servant.
on. Where we at, bro?
And
Jeremiah
look, when you
34.
keep you making it go longer because you keep interrupting us. You got to stop interrupting
My
us.
apologies. My apologies. Jeremiah what?
34.
Jeremiah 34.
I'll mute up.
All right. Exodus chapter 34 and verse 9. That every man should let his manservant and every maidservant, being an Hebrew or Hebrewess, go free, that none should serve himself of them, to wit, of a Jew his brother.
So basically, this is exactly what we read in Exodus 12. Like the brother said, the first verse right here is basically saying no stranger can eat this, but this manservant can. Why is that? Because this manservant is a Hebrew or Hebrewess. It's
We have,
literally telling you what they are.
and when you read through the scriptures, there are distinctions in our laws on how we're supposed to treat a Hebrew servant who is an Israelite and a servant who is a stranger.
Right.
We have variations. You have to read through the law, and you have to distinguish the law in the law who is who, and that's what we're trying to show you.
And so that scripture we just read in Jeremiah 34, it said the manservant. They're a Hebrew or Hebrewess. So read that verse 44, Exodus 12 and 44 again.
Mm-hmm.
Exodus chapter 12 and verse 44. But every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof.
All right, that's Israel. Now watch this. Read the next verse.
Hold on one second. I'm writing that precept down. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Brother, don't be stealing my precepts, brother.
Nah, too late. Too late, brother. Too late, man. Too late, man. Um,
45.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 45. A foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat thereof.
So if you have bought someone of another nation, they still can't eat thereof. It's only for Israel.
And there's a distinction between the manservant that's bought for money and then the hired servant right here. That's different.
Yes. A foreigner and hired servant. That's the non-Israelite. They cannot eat of it. I understand why y'all be getting confused on that, but they cannot eat of it.
I want to ask Truth right now. What's the difference between a manservant that's bought for money and a hired servant? Because the hired servant can't eat.
Oh, he got himself muted.
Let me, so what y'all try to do, right, is I get that there's a lot of questions, right? But I don't see why we just ain't reading right through, because if we read right through, then I feel like you will understand that yes, it's saying one
We can
thing,
do that, brother,
but
but just answer the
it's
question.
stipulations on it.
Brother, just answer the
That's
question.
just
What's
like
the difference? Brother, what's the difference between a hired servant?
That's the see, but host, but that's what you're doing. Every time I answer a question, y'all go somewhere and read again, and then y'all don't even give me a chance to even talk. Like I haven't even talked for real or what I'm trying to say. Because then when I answer your question, then
But
yeah,
brother,
you
if
go
you would
somewhere
just
else.
answer the question, you could do what you want to say
Okay,
and say what
okay,
you
watch this. Okay,
just go
watch this.
ahead,
Okay,
brother.
so what's your question? What's your question, brother?
I mean, you've been talking for we letting you talk.
No, but yeah, but you let
What's
me talk because
what's the
I'm trying to address what's going on here. That's all I'm trying to
The
say.
only
That's
thing
that's
I'm
the reason
trying to
why I'm
ask you
talking.
is right here. It say that the hired servant cannot eat thereof. I'm asking you,
Okay.
what's the difference between a manservant bought with money and a hired servant?
I don't see any difference in that.
The difference is one can
one
eat
can eat
and the
and one
other can't.
can't?
Okay, so but that's a servant, right? Okay, but what about the stranger? Because
Bro. But we trying to
we made
give
it
you the
clear that it was different, right?
we trying to get you to understand. There's a difference between a servant bought with money and a hired servant. It's obviously a separation there. Literally in 44 it says every manservant that's bought with money can eat, but then
Mm-hmm.
a foreigner and a hired servant cannot eat. What is the difference between a servant that's bought with money that can eat it? Why? What matter of fact? Why can't a foreigner or a hired servant eat the Passover? Why can't he? That's a better question.
I don't know. Enlighten me. I mean, I would think it was because they probably are
See,
they're
that's
not
the problem
circumcised.
though, brother, because when you go enlighten me, you need to be taught. That's what that means.
Okay, but here's the thing. Again, I'm not trying to address. I never was trying to address the servant. I'm trying to address. I remember. I came
Brother,
up
you
here
can't
and
bring
was
no
trying to.
scripture. You can't bring up no scripture and don't know what you know the history behind it.
Right, because you're the one that brought this up. Because we were asking
Okay.
you what you believe in, and you came here in an attempt to show us that the nations can be saved.
All right. Okay. Let's
All
just
right.
pick it up at verse 45. It says, "And a foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat thereof. And one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth aught of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall he break a bone thereof. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when the stranger
Hold
shall
on, hold
join,
on, hold on, brother. Brother, you didn't break down none of them scriptures.
brother, I never said, brother, I, you-
Well, y'all,
I never said I
everybody
was
that's
going.
listening, If you pull a scripture on us, you're gonna have to explain.
Yeah, when you're
If you
dealing with the
can't
Israelites,
explain, don't waste your
brother.
time because you're gonna get cut.
Okay, well maybe I'm in the wrong room because I literally just said that I'm gonna read these verses and I'm gonna ask you your take on it. I clearly said that before I read.
Okay, keep going though. It ain't but 2 or 3 verses. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, it's only a few more verses. That I clearly and then that's why I said, and after that, that's I want your take on it, brother. Right? It says at verse what is it, 47, all the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all the males be circumcised, and let him come near and keep it, and he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you. Thus did all the children of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. Now, I like I said, when I read this, right, it said one law for the homeborn, also to the stranger. Now I would think that the
can I answer
homeborn
this,
would be
brother?
Israel.
Nah, let him go because he has to prove what he's saying.
No, no,
That's
no, 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 no. Understand what I'm saying, brother. See, you gotta understand what you gotta listen, brother. I literally said when I read this, I wanted you to expound on it. I want to get your take on it because I think you
brother. We
guys
tried to
going.
give you. We tried to give you our
Yeah,
take,
but
and
you
you
but you
hold on,
did
hold
it.
on,
But you
hold
did
on,
it.
truth, hold on,
Okay.
truth.
Okay.
We just tried to give you our take, and you told us that we wasn't letting you talk.
Mm-hmm.
You told us that we was pulling scripture and not giving you a chance. So what we did was we started in the verse that say the stranger shall not eat thereof, and we broke down every single scripture and who it was talking about. Then we went to precepts that showed who the manservant was. We showing you who the foreigner is in the scriptures. And you told us we was doing too much talking after we proved who these people were. Because this is the thing, truth. If we can go into the Bible and show you where a stranger is an Israelite or Israelite is being called a stranger, you now have to add context to these scriptures. And you don't want to do that.
Yeah, but brother, but this in this essence, I mean, in this particular script, the stranger cannot be Israel.
Brother, why can't a hired servant eat the Passover?
No, no, no. Understand? No, understand what I just said, brother. There's no way that the a stranger, if he just talked about the homeborn, and we clearly agreed, or at least I think I heard that's what you said, that the stranger is not Israel.
So
How can Israel?
listen.
How can the stranger and the homeborn be Israel?
That's not what we saying. We never at no point in
No, but
time did
that's
we
what
in this
I'm saying.
case.
I get what you're saying, but
So
that's
can
what
I
I'm
let
saying.
me
But
let
that
me
but
And
that's
here's
what
the
explain.
not that's
thing,
not
though,
what
truth.
This is
that's
how it works. So in verse 43 it said, "No stranger shall eat thereof." Then 44 is about the Hebrew servant that you have purchased. You have to make sure that he is circumcised and he can eat of it. Then the next verse, a foreigner and an hired servant shall not eat thereof. That's talking about the non-Israelite strangers. So it said twice that they cannot eat of it. But your brother that is circumcised, he can eat of it. Verse 47, all the congregation of Israel shall partake of it. That is a commandment. It's a commandment for Israel to partake in it. Then verse 48, when a stranger shall sojourn with thee. That's talking about an Israelite sojourning with you for the Passover. You have to make sure that he is circumcised and he can eat it. Let me read it. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised and let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. That
And
goes
I want to
right
make a
back.
quick I want to make a quick point too, because the whole thing about the Passover is where the Lord killed the Egyptians and he passed over the Israelites. That is literally what the feast is about. It's about the Lord saving the Israelites and killing the other nations. But go ahead, man. That's crazy.
So verse 48, when it's saying if the stranger shall sojourn with thee and keep the Passover, that's the same context as verse 44. Every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. That's the same people. That's Israel. Non-Israelites cannot eat of it. It said it in 2 verses. So don't get it misconstrued when you see strangers sojourning with thee. Because we can go to Leviticus 25 and show you your brother being a stranger and sojourning with you. Just like we did last year with Dave. No, it's not.
It's in the car.
And